Greetings, folks. I'm back after a 2-week break, and for the rest of July my reviews will consist of 3 films done terrifically by Edgar Wright, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Welcome to my look at the Blood and Ice Cream trilogy, starting off with Red Cornetto, aka Shaun of the Dead. Basically, the Blood and Ice Cream trilogy is a trilogy of 3 films done by Edgar Wright and starring Simon and Nick in respective roles. And they're separated, the ice cream elements are separated by the fact that ice cream often appears throughout the film. For Shaun of the Dead, you've got Red Cornetto, which symbolises horror and blood. In Hot Fuzz, you've got Blue, which symbolises action and of the Blue Police Force. And Green in The World's End to represent aliens and sci-fi. So, Shaun of the Dead. Basically, a sort of rip on Dawn of the Dead, only much more comedic and quite a lot of fun. Basically, Shaun of the Dead follows Shaun, a typical young guy before 30s or late 20s, early 30s, who has a girlfriend Liz and a best friend Ed, who he loves to hang out a lot with in the local pub, the Winchester. Except there's a problem. Shaun doesn't get on very well with his mum, and he's having problems with Liz. Finally, when Liz dumps him, Shaun decides to get his life on track. He decides to reunite with Liz and make up the quarrel with his mother. Only he's chosen a bit of a bad time to do it, as that's when zombies have started to take over the earth. They started moving about all over London, slowly attacking the living, and Shaun must find a way to keep his friends, his mother and Liz safe, whilst, in his words, waiting for it to blow over. Now, this film has obviously the horror elements, with a lot of blood, a lot of zombies, but it's also got a lot of comedic elements to it. For instance, there's a bit where Shaun and Ed have fought off the first wave of zombies, and Shaun is trying to come up with a plan involving everyone being happy and safe. It just comes up with insert word here, get your mum, get Liz, go to the Winchester and wait for it to blow over. He comes up with 3 scenarios which end in going to the Winchester and waiting for it to blow over. Wow, that's getting your priorities straight, I'll admit. But no, seriously, this is a lot of fun. Well, less fun, more scary, but it's scary, it's funny, and the characters are solid. We all know Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are a fantastic acting duo, and here, in which Shaun is like a typical young guy with a half devoted, half unmovable, lazy friend. I can't really remember how it's remembered. I'm just thinking of this off by what I've read. But yeah, I like the duo. Just how Shaun's trying to get everyone to move, trying to get his priorities straight, though in times he can be a bit selfish. He's just trying to think of himself, really. But hey, it's a lot of fun. Though the one thing I will concede about this film is that the last 20 minutes, it's a bit disappointing in my view. I'm not going to spoil anything, obviously, but it's just really disappointing how they can go through all that action and then take the simplest of escape routes to come up with a different ending. I mean, why? You have a whole ton of potential for this film. You could do anything you like with it, and you choose that route. That's almost why Shaun of the Dead is my least favourite of the trilogy, because it's entertaining for sure, but just not as good as the rest. No, not as good as Hot Fuzz or The World's End. But hey, Shaun of the Dead it's horrifying in a good way, funny in a very good way, and very entertaining. It's definitely worth the watch. So, that's the first of the Blood and Ice Cream trilogy films reviewed, and I give Shaun of the Dead a B. As I say, it's got good everything, disappointing ending, but Tune in the next 2 weeks to which when you find out what I think of the action element of the Blood and Ice Cream trilogy and the sci-fi element of the trilogy, aka Hot Fuzz and The World's End.